I would have to see it.
All right, it is 5:30 on Wednesday, March 12th. I'm going to call this facilities meeting to order. I do not believe we have any public comment. So moving right along, Dr. Gagan.
So I want to kind of give everybody an update because as we approach the summer, I want to kind of start aligning some of our summer projects together. I also kind of want to make sure everybody is on the same page of where we're at, especially with the expenditures and things like that are happening. And so in reality, there's two facilities that we're looking to address over the summer that have needs that need to be addressed. And so the first one is the high school. So you have three things here at the high school that, and I put them on your agenda in order of which we probably need to get them addressed. The first one, I don't think Nathan brought it, the plumbing. So our supply lines currently are from 1952.
Pretty original, yeah.
Galvanized steel supply lines. A few weeks ago, one of them created a leak, so they had to replace it. Well, the problem is with 70 years of corrosion, as soon as you put that on and you try to beat it off with a pipe wrench, all of that corrosion then seeps into everything else, and we basically had black water until we washed it all out before the kids got there. Now the good news is, it all flows to the staff bathroom because that's the final spot. Problem is we have another leak, so they're not going to replace that portion of the pipe. They're going to do like the old submarine clamps for the time being. However, that is a very big a very small band-aid on a very big wound. So in reality, we need to replace the supply lines from boiler room all the way to these bathrooms. Rough estimated by Action Plumbing, about $100,000. That is for 2.5 inch supply lines that run about 200 feet through the tunnels, and they have to take out the old one because they have to hang them in the tunnels. You can't just lay it on the ground, obviously. So we would have to bid that out. Hopefully, 100,000 is high, but if 100,000 is high, then realistic 80,000 is still a big number, and that's best case scenario. So that's something that has to get done. The more we kick that can down the road, the worse it's going to get because we are going to start having more and more issues. The second one, it hasn't been as big of an issue this year, but as spring rolls around and we get more storms, last year it was a problem. So the brick facade on this side of the building, a little bit at the elementary, so as I explained this, I'm not meaning to offend anybody, but I'm trying my best. So this is your brick wall, okay? Brick is obviously porous. And so what you do is when you design buildings, you create a channel that goes between brick wall and side wall, and that channel takes all the water as it goes through the brick, and then it finds a weeping hole and sends it right back outside, which is a great idea when you have it as a long-term idea and you don't use aluminum tape to hold together the channels. So what has happened, we don't know where, but we have those aluminum tape has somewhere broken away. And so if it rains hard enough from the east, that wall just gets bombarded with rain, and so water immediately goes through, gets onto a channel, and then it finds its way and it starts weeping through. And we'll always get water in the athletic hallway because it finds the I-beams, water finds a way, and it drips through there. So every time it rains really hard, we probably have trash cans out there. Not enough water to where it's creating damage, but it's enough water where every single time we're like, hey. Now, the solution we're hoping for is Nate's gonna contact a masonry person, and we're looking to actually get those bricks sealed. Now, they say it's not the best idea because when you seal the brick, it doesn't allow for water to go through. Instead, it's going to go straight onto the roof. Right now, I need the water to stop going through my brick. Option B, which I cannot recommend, and I hope nobody would want this, is to basically rip off the side of the wall and find out where the tracking is broken. Otherwise, there's not a good solution. You either rip the wall apart to find out where this aluminum tape is broken and you fix the tracking, which is lots and lots and lots of money, or we try to see if sealing this, and then maybe we engage with a roofing company to make sure they pitch it just a little bit more so when it does hit that brick wall, it comes down and it gets funneled a little bit better. I can't promise you sealing the brick because, I mean, the best you can do is the best you can do, but I can't promise sealing it is still gonna stop it, but hopefully at least minimizes it enough to where as it travels, it evaporates or it stops and it doesn't leak as bad.
And that's the side on the end, right?
That's the east side, yes.
Back or the end, like if we were ever to add on, we would add on to that wall.
So it's the second story, so basically the side of the gym. Is that the side of the gym, Mike?
Like where the
Talking about the east
greenhouse
side? Yeah, the
is
south
and things
side.
like
No,
that.
no, further, come this way, on top of the,
Science.
science wing.
Yep.
So if we ever need to add on, that's the wall we would be adding on and knocking out or whatever, correct?
To the gym.
Yeah, or you would add it on top of the science wing, yes, if you're looking to a second floor, and then it would probably address coming in.
I mean, I don't foresee that anytime near future, but as far as you're talking about redoing it,
Yeah.
if we do have to add on, it's going to be taken out anyway.
Yes, so that's
even
more
if
of
this is a simple fix, it's probably eventually going to be taken down.
Oh,
We're
man.
eventually adding on. It may be 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but.
Yeah, I mean, Ms. Black will still be here, but I'll probably be retired by then.
But I mean, how long would that, do they have an idea of like, how long
That
would
we
that
don't even know.
last? Is that something you have to redo?
This sounds bad, I shouldn't as superintendent said it, but I'm an open book. I can't promise you this is gonna actually fix the problem. But it's the next thing that we can try, because allowing it to continue to just happen is not helping us out. We thought that it was the roofing problem, we thought it was a weeping problem, we got both of those fixed when Total Roofing came out and did the flood issues. They looked at it, they addressed it. We thought it was a caulking issue, they've re-caulked everything. We thought it was a flashing issue, they re-flashed it. I mean, everything we could think of, we've tried, and now it's to a point where we now have to see if it's not just the brick itself.
How much does a seal cost?
That we haven't looked into yet, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up. I can't imagine we're not talking hundreds or tens of thousands of dollars, just and maybe a couple grand. But when that comes up, I just wanted you guys to be aware.
And then how long, like, is that something that we would have to consistently reseal because then it wears or?
That is
So
a-
those are questions to ask when we start
Phenomenal
getting bids.
question.
Well,
And
and
is
then
it,
the other question would be, what could be the negatives of that? Like you said, if it's good to have the thing,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this and then trade it for bigger issues
So your
like
big negatives-
foundation or something like that.
Your big negative is going to be you're gonna now have more water that originally would go through the brick
Yeah.
and be channeled through. It's now stopping, dropping
For the
down.
foundation, which we've
Correct.
already
So do you
had
need like
issues
a gutter or
with.
something?
Yeah, so
Or
then we'd
French
have total
drain or
roofing.
something, okay.
yeah, so we've had people look at this and we've tried to repair it before, so this is just the next step in problem solving.
Yeah, this was
whatever the
actually,
solution is.
originally with Mike Stanola, we engaged, Total Roofing did a couple different options for us. They were always really good about trying something out. I mean, they were open, they're like, we're not sure if this will work, but you know, what, we're gonna give it a shot and hopefully this fixes it. We've tried, and then Nathan took over and just hasn't done anything with it. Sorry, I take it back, Nathan's done a great job.
Is it causing,
Sorry for this camera on.
is it causing any damage?
No.
Okay.
At this time, no.
Inside or, okay.
I mean, it damages some ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
So-
It's a downpour sideways rain, but if it's a drizzle or something, there's nothing going on in the.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
this Friday,
now.
when we're supposed to get a big
Yeah.
storm on Friday?
But the last storm that we got, no, we didn't get anything.
So then we're having garbage cans,
Catch it for
the
until it dries
water
out,
when the
yeah.
kids are in the hallway and, ooh, that's always.
So that it's not
High
just on the
school.
ground.
Huh?
Yeah, so that it's not just dripping onto the ground.
Well, yeah, but still, you know.
So. And then the last one, it's another one, the original price we got was 17 grand, and Nathan and I agree it's probably not the right number. So in again, not a big need, but in the small gym, the old den as Larry would have called it, but in the old gym, the units that provide heat are obviously suspended in the air. And I know we have at least one HVAC expert here. We all know that heat rises. So in the wintertime, when it gets super cold, that's kicking out 90, 95 degree air that's staying on the roof, staying on the top, and so it never really comes down. So what Nathan and I have looked into, and Nathan may have found a better solution, is kind of like at the den, there's a massive fan that pushes the air down. What Nate is suggesting is getting smaller fans that actually go up into the rafters right by the output of the unit and just having it blow down that way. So, you have a look.
No.
Oh. Yeah. So in hopes that that would then, so obviously he would come, it would then, it's kind of like your house, it would push it down and then you would circulate cold air up. So I think the big expense there is just running, there's not power in the roof of the old gym. So that's kind of something we're gonna look at, but not anything that needs to be addressed until potential summer, or potential winter. But the most important thing is notifying the committee and I guess the boards that you're out here, that plumbing's gonna need to be bid out. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. It's a 70-year-old building.
Well, and that's the problem when you start updating things, you start figuring out, oh, well, if you update this, then you have to update that.
Yep.
It just kind of rolls, unfortunately.
Any questions about the high school?
The plumbing, is that something that can get done in the summer?
Yes, I think, yeah, 100%.
I
And that
wasn't
would
sure
be-
what we already had like booked through the summer, because usually that's booked out.
The only thing we have here is we're getting the doors done in the summer through the maintenance grant. Oh, it's not on here, but Mr. Hurling said probably next week he'll be out here
For the
trenching
lights.
for the lights.
Lights open.
So that should be coming out pretty soon. It's just going to be, oh, that, no, it'd be any, well, you still have the cafeteria bathrooms. Just cases.
It is close.
We'll approve you a porta potty.
So then the next one is the elementary school windows, plumbing, and playground.
Yep. All right, so here's the update on that one. Again, I've put them in order of, as a superintendent, of matter of importance to me and what I think needs to be done. So the windows, you have all new HVAC in the entire elementary area. And if you drive by the elementary and simply look at that third floor, second floor, however we want to designate that, I mean, it's particle board with some shingling over top of it. It's an atrocity. So I had the architects look at it first. Their number came back at $170 to get those windows replaced. Nathan had just a window, it might have been the same people that fixed the windows at the junior high for us, might be the same company. Look at it, $100,000 from him. So, and that second number was taking all the windows that you could open and breaking it into thirds. You have 2 non, 1 you can open, 2 non, 1 you can open, so there's still some. So that helped it out, and then they're putting, right now if you look at it, there's still was about 2 feet of particle board. They would do a metal flashing over that instead, make it a more permanent thing instead of wood. But I had hoped to get windows the whole way, but we got to save money somehow. So if that's something, we're losing money because of that, because of the windows. We are. I mean, it is what it is. So that would have to be bid out. So that's kind of your big project at the elementary. Along with that, going on to the plumbing, one of the biggest issues in terms of bathrooms at the elementary is the second floor bathroom. The second floor, I mean, it's a hot mess. It does have the new floor one side. Those bathrooms, we're starting to have problems now with pipes backing up because, again, they're suspended. They're 70-year-old pipes, and you can't really reline them during the school year. So what we need to do is we need to have a plumbing company come on and basically we're hoping that they can rod them, but there's a high likelihood that if you rod a pipe that's 70-some years old,
Yeah,
it ain't sticking
issues.
together. So we're probably gonna have to get that process fixed. Also, we need to update the bathroom itself. I mean, it's concrete floors, the stalls are just old, the toilets are old. So that might be a secondary project at the elementary.
This is separate from the plumbing, because we're doing the plumbing in the first floor still.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is separate than the toilets that are being
Yeah.
replaced. Those are more just, we want to make sure that we have stuff going down toilets.
Yeah.
And this is a completely different entity. And then, go ahead.
Do we have any idea about have you heard, are they still gonna do that maintenance grant again next year?
So that comes around every year. The
Every
50,
year?
yeah, it's
Okay.
50,000 matching grant.
Okay.
So yeah, that's,
Okay, so maybe that could cover, I mean, there's stuff we have to get done this summer, but like you were talking about updating the bathrooms or,
yeah, that's 100% true. And then the third thing on there is the playground. I know I broached the subject probably a year ago with the board, made them aware of the dirt pile that's out there. And I know it's gotten some more traction again. So Nathan did a measurement for PTO. PTO had someone go and look at it. They wanted to rubberize the floor. The guy actually called Nathan back and informed him it's about $1 to $120,000 to do that.
160.
160. That does not include a requirement for the school to then go in and excavate 10 inches of ground to lay six inches of rock as a base before they can pour the rubberized. And as respectfully as I can say it, I understand wholeheartely that I don't want my kids playing in dirt. I just gave you guys about $300,000 of things that need to be fixed. I can't rationalize $75,000 for rubberized ground. I will continue to engage and explore options.
This is in place of like the mulch that's there, or what?
So they-
Is
this
this in the
goes-
actual ground?
This goes around the mulch, so it's kind of, as I understand, if you go to like a town playground and you walk on it, it's like real
Yeah,
soft
squishy.
rubbery. So they're replacing anything that's dirt with that. The mulch areas stay mulch areas. And I just found out today, Nate informed me, they can't do it on hills. So even the hill that's there, you're still running on some grass and then you
well, that,
got.
and I would think that, did they say anything about having more issues with water, with it being a hill and the water
Nothing
going and
about it.
molding? Cause I know that's an issue too, if the water gets under
Yeah,
there and then
seeps
it
into it.
molds.
Yeah.
And then you have that issue of allergies and things like that, because when they step on it, little mold spores are popping up.
Yeah.
And I would hate to spend $100,000.
Well, I'm just thinking of the rain, like if it's
Yeah.
supposed to be that way and we excavate and flatten it, you could potentially be flooding the playground or the building.
Yeah.
If we really change that landscape.
Did I know, has the retaining wall helped at all that?
Yeah, there's no erosion so far. I mean, we put it in the fall.
Yeah.
But so far, it's better. The grass came back real quick in front of there
Okay,
too,
so it's helped some. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not great, but it's getting better slowly but surely.
And again, if you want to make it, I'm not suggesting this, but I will say it so it's on the public record, the superintendent did say this. If you want to make it aesthetically pleasing, you can kind of do what you did with the soccer field. You can build a retaining wall that way you cut away the erosion and you put grass there. You keep kids off it for 2 months. You install a sprinkler system and you grow grass there. Problem is, watch Wimbledon. Grass when you run on it goes brown. It's a thing. In my opinion, you're wasting money, but at least it's gonna look pretty for a little bit, and there's no good way around this. I mean, it's just a
Well,
bad
I mean, the other
situation.
option is concreting it
I
all.
would say that concrete.
Concrete or asphalt, but that's just more dangerous.
Ms. Black has
Yeah.
an opinion on
Yeah.
this.
No, I was just gonna say, even trying to reseed it, that's happened twice since I've been there, and we've kept kids off of it all summer, and it hasn't.
Yeah, within a week or a month of them playing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we wouldn't, but we probably have to do like the highest quality grass seed that there is, and keep the kids off there for like an entire school year for it to, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you just think every recess, 450 kids, I mean, every single day for hours
It's
at a
public
time.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the summer.
Especially
it's-
now that baseball season's starting, that's where all the younger, or all the
Yeah,
seniors run
playing
off
and
to.
stuff, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not ignoring it, guys. I really am
Yeah.
not. I know there's a problem there, but there are so many higher needs that I have to fix in this district.
Yeah.
All due respect, I gotta allocate money that we have to problems that are gonna stop us from having school. And having no water supply at the high school is a significant problem. Blowing money out the window literally because we have holes in the side of our buildings is a problem. I know those aren't aesthetically pleasing things. As a taxpayer, I get it. If you flip houses, you don't see it. But, I mean, when you're 70-year-old things, they fall apart. Ask my old man. My dad's 70. He's falling apart. Don't mean it, Dad. Oh, he doesn't watch these.
All right, seal coating,
Yep, so every year we've created a nice little cycle, and Nate's gonna make sure that I say this right. So this year we have the high school drive, which we will be reinstalling the angled parking. Excuse me, we have the elementary, Superintendent Diet, elementary teacher lot. And then we're going to address some of the, again, patching at the junior high. And then we're gonna have whoever does some estimates for us, assess us and whether or not they believe that can wait another year and have that on next year. Or if we, I'm just gonna say you need to do it, but kind of do a formal assessment of whether or not we should do it this year or not. So you'll probably have those estimates. I would guess April to approve. We probably won't have, I'm sorry, not April, May. You probably won't have them next month. But just want to give you guys, that's the cycle we're going with. So yeah.
Strategic plan update?
So, look at this, we're flying through this. So if you remember back in 2023, it might have been, what was that? My second year as superintendent. I provided you guys the district strategic plan. It was 23 through 28. And so, believe it or not, I do pull it out on occasion. I kind of review it to see where we're at because, again, the goal is by 2028. It's not 2025, it's 2028. However, if you look at the facilities aspect of it, out of the 16 items that we have listed on there that the board approved back in 2023, 2022, we've done 13 of the 16, which is significant. We are way ahead of schedule. And so, twofold. One, I want to make sure you guys understand we are doing things. The ship turns slowly, but we are doing stuff around here. We're not just sitting on things. We're not sitting on money. We're trying our best to improve the things we need to improve. But secondly, over the next year or so, all due respect, Larry, not with Larry on the board, because I'll need a new board member to kind of make that plan moving forward. Or Miss, I don't want to get political, or Miss Hanson or Miss Brennenstall for the in-town seat. Once that happens, I want to kind of go back and start reviewing our strategic plan facility related to see where we're at, and then maybe amend it a little bit, not change the 2028, kind of have a realistic goal in mind, because I don't want to create a 5-year plan for facilities and keep the other ones on 3 more years. And then, as I think I told Ms. Flickton, we can add the playground on there. The soccer field I know is still on there, the track's still on there. Even though we don't do something, it's still getting addressed and being accounted for. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up that would be coming down the pipelines.
Good to have goals.
I'm sorry?
Good to have goals.
Oh, I love goals.
Yep. Do you have any other things?
We do.
Anything else?
Okay, sorry. 2 things. Ms. Diachenko asked me to, and I thought it was a great idea. I am getting a price. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the wall pads yet. I think I sent y'all a picture.
Yeah.
They look great.
Great.
I thought they did a great job. They still have to come out and cut out some of the things. They're going to come out when they do the window relining. Jake said that they're just waiting for a warm week. You would have thought this week would be great, and then you look at Sunday or Saturday, it's back down to 40. So I love northern Illinois weather. Just awesome. Don't know why we live here. So we're in the process of that. I did measure out with Dr. Kwasny. I think he said it's $299 a pad, 2-foot pads, and we were looking at 16 feet. So it's going to be around the same price. He's going to give me an exact quote to get those 2 at the junior high done. If you go into the junior high and you stand on the free throw line and look at the basket, because of when previous administration, when you guys got you were here, when you got the bleachers, what you did is you moved the gym over a little bit, like the baskets in the court, and the things on the wall didn't move. And so now, if you look at the basket, like the wall mats are right there, and then you have like 7 feet this way with no wall mats.
That's the wall that my son hit his head on. Yeah.
Yes, so we're I highly recommend we get that fixed and that taken care of. And on the other side, the door you actually can run into the door if you go a couple feet. Jake did say you can put a mat on that wall, so he's gonna give me an idea of what it would cost to extend that pad into the wall. I'm sorry, not the wall, the door frame. Get that taken care of.
And just update it, just across. I mean, I've been watching the kids play volleyball, the girls.
Yep.
You know, seeing some of them dive in, I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
Oh, I was gonna ask, in the gym, they have, whenever they go to state or whenever they get the big
Yep.
state, is there one for the juniors and boys? We could ask that every week, I guess.
Yeah, so if they finish, well, the placards are, I have to ask Brandon, it's, the placards I think are fourth or better, but I have to confirm with Brandon.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
that.
they took-
Oh, they did, so
Yeah, they took-
then it's probably getting ordered. Brandon's the coach, he wants to see his name everywhere the way he is. But yeah, it's probably, on, he might even have it on, he might also wait to see what the rest of the season brings, so he kinda gets a discount when
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you know,
In
the
order
girls
of
go
all
out and
order.
say. And then, one other thing that has made my life miserable the last week and a half, we're having problems with both of our gym floors. We have cupping, we have,
I'm done.
at the high school, we just had them done 2 years ago. We have cracks forming, we have boards that are starting to separate, we have all kinds of
Are
problems.
they not under warranty?
Yeah, that's gonna,
Is it 1 year?
So that's where we're at now. I've engaged with the company that did the remediation, and he's been out with the people who did the painting. They said, well, we don't know the real problem, it's probably just a humidity issue. I've engaged with Gallagher, who is our insurance company, and so our process right now is, I'm waiting for the company out of Iowa who installed the actual gym floors to come out and look at them. I'm a realist. I don't believe any company is gonna come in and say, yep, that $500,000 is our problem, we'll take care of it. So I'm in the process of engaging our insurance company, Gallagher, to have an expert third-party engineer come out and tell us the problem. And so a third-party engineer will have a formal, this is the problem, this is what caused it, and then we engage whatever group we need to engage with.
Okay.
But it's not been a pleasant week and a half.
So
Is-
if we engage a third-party engineer, does our insurance, is that something that our insurance pays for? Do we have to pay for that?
Deductible.
Okay,
So-
so if they find that it's a warranty issue, can we go back to the warranty company to, or like what?
It might even be more, so what happens is a company that does an installation, if it's a faulty installation, they actually have insurance that covers themselves. And so if Gallagher comes back and says, you know what, yeah, it's, the wood you chose was bad wood because it's both built. They say, hey, you guys are liable for this, your insurance company needs to pick it up, and then it's taken care of. And then we would get our deductible back from that. So yes, if it's a moisture problem, they didn't fully finish the moisture, it's that problem, then they have insurance for that, so. It's not dangerous to play on, we have PE classes, I don't know anybody, it's not tripping hazard, but it's 2 years old and it looks like, it's 20 years old.
And we want it taken care of before
We
it
have
does
to
go
need
out
the
of
last
warranty.
level.
Correct.
Do you remember what our warranty was?
But it was, I mean, we paid for it
that's
through
pretty,
insurance,
that's
so.
terrible though.
Yeah,
It's only 2 years old.
correct. If this was 20 years, then I wouldn't have a
That's a
beef
problem,
with
that's
it.
a
Yeah, so that's, I'm
That's
only
probably gonna
providing
be-
good news to this committee today.
Can I go back up to, well, just like the plumbing and stuff? So that's, needs to be done now. So we're, right, I'm, like, we
Yeah.
can't push that to the next year's money, the budget. So where's,
So we would probably look to bid it out, and get it done over the summer, depending on how we wanted to finagle it. If you guys wanted it done the second, school's out, end of May, we want them the first week in June, it would be on this fiscal budget. It depends on who it is. If you say we want it done in the middle of June, then it rolls into July 1, it's on your next year's budget. So, I mean.
Which might be something we discuss when we talk about how we may have to put technology on this budget in the actual board meeting.
Yeah, so
that might be something
once
we'll
those
have to
bids
think
come
about.
in,
That
I
we
think
have
that is
to
a great
be-
conversation to
Yeah.
have, yes. Yes. And then, I think the question was asked about the buses, this would be the same idea, it wasn't in the budget, but that's why you have reserves, so when you pay for something that's an overage, it's pulled out of the reserves. Okay.
All right. Any other, I don't think we've gotten any more public comment for facilities.
Good.
You good, buddy?
Okay.
I hate
All right.
these chairs.
And then I all right, and then I do a motion to adjourn, right? Yes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I was messed up.
Yes, okay. It is 6:03 PM on March 12th, 2025. I am calling the regular board meeting into session, noting absence of no one. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I have noting no public comment, guest recognition. Moving on to the approval of board minutes. So I need a motion to approve the board meeting minutes of February 12th, 2025 as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores? Yes. Missouri?
Abstain.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up would be the approval of executive board meeting minutes. So I need a motion to approve the executive session board meeting minutes of February 12th, 2025 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Abstain.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up are the March 2025 expenses that were in the board packet. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, or anything about those?
Any excursions? No.
I need a motion
No trips.
to approve the March 2025 expenses as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is the treasurer's report.
Welcome back, Mike. Thanks for having to read this.
Back in the saddle again. The balance in the super now account at the end of February was $4,160,173.16. Outstanding checks totaled $40,833.80. February payroll expense carryover, $69,205.94, leaving that adjusted bank balance at the end of February at $4,050,133.42. Lunch program balance, $89,054.48. Impressed fund at $5,000, totaling $4,144,187.90. The investment balances at the end of the month were $5,516,026.83, leaving the balance of all funds as of February 28th at $9,660,214.73. February receipts totaled $768,740.75 and expenses $1,612,223.90. The individual fund balances at the end of February were education fund, $6,214,307.89, building fund, $973,995.94, bond and interest, negative $34,190.89, transportation fund, $1,062,070.43, IMRF, $107,829.82, working cash fund, $361,734.06, tort fund balance, $402,222.93, and life safety, $572,244.55. Interest earned at First Community totaled $15,245.40. We just had a few distributions from the state in February. State aid, $350,880. Maintenance grant, $21,375. School lunch program, $15,435.72. Free lunch, $86.08, and special milk, $23.50. That was a big one. No real estate distributions, and fund balances are in the back.
All right, does anyone have any questions or concerns? Nope. Okay. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling? Yes. DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up are staff reports, starting with Miss Black.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to highlight a couple of quick things on my report. We did have quite a bit of interest in summer school, so we will be having summer school this year. We'll be getting those information sheets out to teachers and start talking to parents about them. Also, while we will greatly enjoy having Mrs. Garcia with us, we just transitioned this week. Mrs. Barza is now going to be is now at the junior high, and she also earned her tenure status, so that was exciting as well. A couple of fun student things. On Friday, we will be having our third quarter PBIS celebration. I think it's going to be pretty fun. The kids are going to be rotating through 3 different sections of the school, 3 different stations. I bought some black lights, some glow in the black lights, balloons, some tape for some games we can play in the gym. In the sensory room, we have a photo booth, and the kids, they also purchased a Polaroid camera. The kids can get their picture taken with some funny props. And in the multipurpose room, we're gonna have one of those big little cash cubes things that the kids can, everyone's gonna get a chance to get in, but different numbers will be drawn from different homerooms, and then they'll get to collect some prizes based on that, so it should be fun. And then we are still working on and putting together our IAR incentives, so we're going to have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders earning tickets for coming to school on time, having their Chromebook charged. The teachers had positive attitude, so kids are, positive as we can expect or hope, taking the test. A funny one that came up when we were brainstorming different things we can give students tickets for. I didn't realize that some of the students, when they take their math test, never even use a piece of paper to do a math problem. So using scratch paper on the math portion of your test can be something that you earn a ticket for, which I think that's a great idea. So Ms. Openheis and some of the other staff have also been working hard to get some free donation prizes. So as students earn their tickets, they'll earn different things. We have Culver's donated a whole bunch of stuff to us already. McDonald's donated a whole bunch of stuff. Mrs. Lawson donated some Razor scooters, new Razor scooters. Mr. Baumgartner has given us some money to do with the buy some prizes as we see fit. So hopefully it'll get the kids excited and working their hardest on the test. Any questions? Okay, great. Thank you.
Dr. Fosney.
Good evening. I will start with some of our IAR information as well to piggyback off of the elementary school. So we are testing here coming up on March 27th is going to be our first test, and we're going to do math first, so 3 days in a row. And then the next week, we're going to do 2 days in a row for our ELA testing, and then we're going to do science later. So we've been prepping hard, a lot of writing, a lot of reading, math, all of the things, a lot of extended responses, all that good stuff. So we're really hoping that the students take it seriously and do well. We've been trying our very best. We're going to do the incentives that we did last year, which is similar to the tickets, but we were talking about and considering, instead of doing the raffle, we were thinking about taking that ticket that they earn, and it's for the same types of things, showing their work, being there, charge Chromebooks, putting forth effort, taking their time, not putting their heads down, and finishing the test in 5 minutes. But to redeem those at lunch for snacks and treats. And
That's
so,
probably a good buy-in for junior
yeah.
high.
They love food, right?
Food motivated,
Yes.
yeah.
So chips, candy, pop, gum, asking the kids, what do you like? So we were planning on going to Costco and Sam's Club to try to get them in bulk. So that's what we wanted to do this year, instead of having them all thrown and then we only get a handful of winners. So we thought that would get more buy-in. We're also going to do incentives, probably same thing, food, for if they improve from 2 years ago to this past year. So I already have, and actually it was almost every single student, which is awesome. And it doesn't have to be that they met or exceeded, but just that they showed growth. So even if they were still, within the ones, or they moved up from 1 to 2, so they don't have to be a 4 or 5, just that they showed some growth. So we're going to be giving those incentives away as well. We waited until now to do it because we're trying to generate some
What's a good idea, because it's so weird, it takes so long to get them back. So like you take the test and they don't even get their results until September. So waiting till now, I mean, that's a really good idea, because then it's like, oh, look, so you do get something for it and it's fresh. That's a good
Exactly,
idea.
yeah, pump them up, get them ready, and know, oh, we will get the reward. So exactly what you just said. So that's why we waited, and then we're gonna give those either next week or probably the week after, so it'll be literally right before the test starts. So that's where we're at for the IAR. And then the only other thing I kind of wanted to share is that we are, as you know, in the midst of deciding and making a decision on what we'd like to propose for our ELA curriculum, which is Savas, My Perspective. So we're gonna have a parent night next Thursday, and we'll send out information. We're just gonna invite, if any parents would like to learn more about it, we'll kind of go over all the highlights, show them the materials, and ask, if they have any questions about that. So that'll be next week, and like I said, we'll send out information. And one other thing I did want to mention is that Yahaira Esparza from the elementary school, she did start this week working with our EL students. So it's been great. We've been having her at our building, as well as Mr. Giannotti for half a day as well. So our EL students will get some more support. And right now she's kind of doing push-in, but she is going to be doing some small groups as well outside of the regular classroom. So we're kind of working on her schedule. She has one. She's with the kids all day, but just kind of tweaking it to see how we can best support those students. Does anyone have any questions?
Have they done, they already did access testing, right?
Yes.
February?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we waited until, we waited to transition her over to all the
Okay.
testing. That's fine. All right, thank you.
Mr. Meyer.
Hello. A couple of personnel issues that I don't have on here, but just an update. Hopefully tonight, I'm assuming that you will agree to hire our new, drama sponsor. That, I think that will be great. I can give you some more update later if everything works out next time. Also interviewing 2 secretaries or administrative assistants this Friday. So hopefully I'll have an answer or have a candidate. This has been a trying adventure. So hopefully that will work out wonderfully. So I'll give you more update on that. Baseball and softball start next week. Track starts this weekend, so our spring sports are getting ready to go. Bandgram's always a hit. I just like to touch on that because the kids like it. Besides getting out of class all day, the kids do like going around and disrupting classes or the district office or whatever else. And Jason, our staff's been really good, and the kids do a great job. So I like that. I need an update on the mathletes. I said only at the time that this was finished, we only had 2. But Mrs. Chauvin sent me something yesterday. So now our Algebra 2 team also qualified. So we've got 7 or 8 more people going, no, 6. So more going 2 states. So now we have 8 instead of 2, which is great because Ms. Chauvin usually has around 15 and she was kind of disappointed. So at least we've got another group in. So I'll give you an update later with the results, hopefully after the April state competition. Sorry. I wanted to point out the KACC kids. We do have 4 individuals that made the National Technical Honor Society. With that, I also want to state that we are going to raise the price if you miss or skip KACC next year. Right now we are $10. We're going to move up to 15 because now, if I remember correctly, it's costing us $2,000 a kid.
Yep.
Does that sound right? So we're going to raise we're not going to raise the $150 that it costs to get in the program. We're just going to raise the miss right now, if you're okay with that aspect of it.
And that's only if it's not excused. If they're missed because they have a doctor's and you provide a note, you are not charged.
Sure.
I just wanted to clarify.
Because each time you have to do
Yeah,
that.
you have to pay, if it's not excused with a doctor's note.
Yep. Or we do, yes.
Like a mental health, like they
Or
say,
we
but
can
not.
do certain things for college visits. We'll work with people
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. Yep, but we're gonna move it up to $15. I just want to preface that. I'll probably put that in our new I don't know if I have to put it in the handbook, I can't remember, but I know I just wanted to tell you.
I think there is a line.
Tell
in
you
the
off
book on there.
the cuff on that. And I think that was it. Any questions?
Band kids went to the RVC Honors.
That was last night.
Last
Jason's
night.
gonna write something up for me there. Jason, for next month, Mr. Hodak's also going to write something up about us going to the elementary and Beecher Manor, that's always a hit. It's great. And then they love going to pizza afterwards.
It was great last
The
night.
food, I'm
We
sorry.
had 19 kids there last night. It was wonderful.
So it
They
was,
were great.
And the most principal players too.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good.
they did a great job.
PLE. So,
And parents of high school students should be getting the school links
Oh,
emails
yes.
from
Steve.
Mr. Starsney to approve your child's,
yes, Steve.
not
or-
schedule, but
no, just to look
what
at the
classes
crew, just
they're
to-
doing.
hopefully we're
Yeah.
keeping everybody involved so you
Yeah.
can see what you're doing. Mr. Sarsny is still visiting classrooms. He was there today as well. He should be getting that cleaned up within the next week. And Joe and I, working on schedules for next year, also working on ACT stuff, getting rooms. Proctor's going to do that on Friday as well. So we have a lot going on. It's great. Good stuff. Thank you.
Dr. Gaham.
I wasn't nearly as busy as Mr. Meyer seems to have been,
No,
but
reps off from leadership down, so.
two things. We had one FOIA this past month. It was satisfied. Before I have Ms. Compton come up, I'm going to have her do our special ed presentation. I do want to do 2 updates for you guys. Well, one's kind of an update. One was a video I shot out there, but I wanted the families to know that I also sit here in an open board meeting. First off, Dual Dogs update. Chuck, I can't remember your last name, I apologize. Chuck from the Southland Voice has reached out, and I think he's going to do an article about the therapy dog and the process of that. I know he reached out to me, he had some questions, and
Facility dog.
facility dog. And so Chuck's been very good to work with, so I look forward to that article. And then secondly, I made a video about the attendance policy. And again, I want to reiterate this and stress this. This is the first year that we've done this. I have zero interest in backing off and trying to change course. This policy is all about communications with families. As of right now, if I'm not mistaken, principals, please correct me, the Will County ROE has actually only engaged with
I have 3 guys.
4 total families. So as you may or may not be seeing on social media, we are not sending people to jail. We are not calling the cops. The SRO does make appearances. The SRO does have very good conversations with our families. He does make them aware, hey, you're absent, we get it, how can we help, what can we do? In my world, and if I'm wrong with this, I apologize, I'm a bad superintendent, I don't think communication's a bad thing with families. I get it, if your kid's sick, we want them to stay home. If your kid has the flu, keep them home. We're not coming at you with cops and with the ROE. So we want to make sure that's clear. It's a very, 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 very bad idea to send my kid to school and make the school send them home because then the school can't do it. That's not how it works, okay? If you keep them home, you give us a call. The ladies in the offices have done a tremendous job. They mark it down. Billy was absent, called off. Yes, it's unexcused, but we're not coming after you. We're just making you aware, hey, just want to let you know, you've called off 10 times. All 10 of those, you've let us know. Thank you for the communication. Is there something we can do? Just to give you a heads up, you're probably going to see us again at 12 and again at 15. That's not a bad thing. So I'm not about to pull back and stop communicating with families. It ain't going to happen on my watch, okay? So that's what my video said. I want to reiterate that. We're not out here to get people. Even when Monica comes out here, she has wonderful conversations with them. She has not taken anybody to jail. She's a very nice lady. Another line of defense, another line of assistance that she can provide families. We want kids in school, obviously, not if they're sick. If they're sick, call at school, say they're sick, keep them home. And if you get an email, if you get a letter, it's not meant to offend you, it's not meant to scare you, it's all an informational piece. And so we have gone through and we have amended some of the language to take away the word truant and made it absenteeism reports. We just want families to know about things. Full disclosure, I get a phone call at 3. My daughter was at 3 absences and I got a phone call. Okay, I didn't get upset. So folks, get sick, keep them home. Any other questions about my report before I hand it over to Ms. Compton? Mr. Duncan? Help?
I've been looking forward to this after doing it, so.
Well, she got the sub in the class all day today, so
Sure did.
she is super ready to talk about this.
It's good to stay in the classroom every once in a while,
Yep.
right?
Put you in your place.
Yeah. Those 3-year-olds certainly put me in my place today. Oh, okay. It's very humbling sometimes to go down to work with the 3-year-olds.
They were really cute on the first day, get off the butt.
Yeah. Oop, that's not going well. There we go.
Somebody
Okay.
call stat.
All right, so I am just gonna give you guys a little update about what has been going on in our world of special education. Can you see?
I'll scooch here. Scooch back.
If you're at home and you want to see this, I'll make it available on the website. We'll put this presentation on the website, so if you're at home.
Okay. So first, I just want to start off like I do every year with an overview of where our staff and our student population is. Not a lot has changed in the world of staff this school year. We did obviously add on an early childhood teacher this year, mid-year. We were very, very lucky to find somebody who had the certification to teach early childhood halfway through the year and also had the ability to leave their previous position and income work for us. And we got really lucky. We got somebody who I had worked with previously teaching here at the high school, so I knew her and I know her strengths and I knew she would be a great addition, and she's been great with our early childhood students. So these are where our numbers were when I did this presentation 2 days ago. I can tell you right now, I just got a phone call, we have another family moving and more students coming. So that is the trend that we're seeing. Our numbers are not going down, they are only going up. If you look at just kind of, I looked at my caseloads for my teachers. Last year at the elementary school, each teacher on average was at about 17 students on their caseload. This year they're at 18. The junior high went from 19 to 21, and the high school went from 22 to 25. So, you know, if you look at, I've got 3 teachers at the high school, so you're looking at, we got about 9 kids this year. So our numbers are definitely going up, and they have been the past few years, so this isn't anything that I didn't expect. Looking at our other programs that we are afforded the opportunity to have our students attend through SOIC. Our CAB program, we currently have 9 students. The Life Skills program has 13. We have 2 students that attend Fisher. We have 3 students at the Education Center in Wilmington. And then outside of our SOIC programs, we do have 2 students that attend programs at different locations, one being Menta and Bradley, the other is Acacia. So we have 1 student each at those programs. Overall, in this area of student attendance, we were at 28 last year, 29 this year. So not a lot of change there. I will say, and I'm going to talk more about our AC program, but it's been nice working with SOIC, with their staff. We've had them come and help provide some training and just they do a nice job of coming out and help facilitate some ideas and strategies that we can use. So we've been able to keep more students here in our AC program, which has been nice. Some things that we have done this year district-wide. Last year I talked about our Teach, Train, Thrive workshop that was district-wide. We implemented part 2 of that again this year. Teacher response to it over the past 2 years has been positive, so I was glad that we were able to continue that this year. Master Teacher is an online training program that we implemented it's specific for our paras, which is nice because so many times we have PD at school and you know we're digging in the IAR data and doing all these things, and it doesn't necessarily always apply to the para educators, but they are so important. So I've met with them and I've talked with them about, you know, what do you want? What would be helpful to you? What is useful to you? You know, we don't want to waste their time either, and we want them engaged because they are a huge part of what we do. So we purchased this program and they've been working through modules online on PD days, and the response from them has been very positive. They said that they like it, they feel like it's engaging, and they are learning, and that's, you know, at the end of the day, what we want is for them to feel more comfortable with working with the students. SOIC has come out and done some trainings this year. They've done our CPI training. They did another district-wide training on de-escalation strategies. And then just a few weeks ago, it was the day that it snowed really bad because everybody went home.
Yep.
We pivoted really quickly and the
last
training
board
was
meeting.
A month ago?
Yes. Grace, who is one of our SOIC administrators, did a training with the paras. And she said it was great. She said they were very engaging, they were asking questions, and it's really focused on, you know, topics that they needed support in. Working with students on the autism spectrum, just wanting more knowledge and different strategies, and working with behaviors and things like that. So that was great. Something that we've started to implement that I think has been very helpful is when we have students that transition from 5th grade to 6th grade and then from 8th grade to high school, we hold IEP transition meetings where the teachers get to meet the students for a little bit. But what we've started to do is actually have the teachers go for a day, they go observe, they follow, you know, the 5th grade schedule around, so they get to see how the students engage in class, and they get to see how the paras support them in the gen ed setting and in the special education setting. And we were really lucky because obviously, you guys know we have some movement with teachers coming for next year. 2 of the teachers that were just hired at the last board meeting are currently working here, so they've even been able to get in and see the students that they're gonna be working with next year, so I think that's been great. And the other thing that I forgot to mention on here is we implemented this year, all of our 8th graders with IEPs are currently enrolled in a co-taught English class at the junior high that has been very successful, and I'm really excited that we're gonna be able to continue that on over to the high school this year. We previously did not have that opportunity. So to be able to keep the students in the general education setting with the support is something we're really excited about. So then the rest of my presentation, I'm kind of focused on the early childhood program just because that has been, I think, our biggest success this school year, and I will say probably the biggest hurdle we had to get over at the beginning of the school year. The program has just grown tremendously. I know even over the summer, I had a conversation with Dr. Gingham, and I remember exactly where I was, and I was on the phone with him, and I said, we probably could have 2 classrooms right now if I had them. We could fill them. I knew we could fill them. I have kids on the waiting list, people calling all the time. Just so you know, we started the school year at 14 students. We are at 24 students, and I had 2 more that are starting this week. So to be able to have a whole other classroom to put these students in has been huge. I just cannot thank you enough for supporting that. I know there was a purchase of a bus to be able to get those students to the program, so I'm very appreciative of the support. With being able, you know, our thought process is the more students that we can get into our early childhood program, hopefully we're gonna, you know, reach them sooner, and they're not gonna need as much support as they grow older. That's all, you know, that's our end goal, is to get them in the general education setting as much as possible as they grow. So 14 of these students are going to kindergarten next year, so that is going to be a huge group going to kindergarten, and that has had the opportunity to be in the program. So I'm glad to see that, but don't worry, it's not like we're not gonna, we have 8 kids being screened in May for next year, and we always get moving. So I know that the classes are gonna be filled. We are, and that is something that we added this year too. Typically, we've always had only 2 days of screenings. This year, we decided that we needed a 3rd because the first day of screenings that were in Beecher, I think we had 20 students, and I think 19 of them. And the screenings, just so you know, are offered to all of the members of our SOIC locations, and 19 of the 20 students were Beecher kids. So it's not slowing down. So again, even in May, to still have 8 kids to be screened is a lot. So I know that the classrooms are gonna be full. We are having and I just put some pictures on here just to give you a little glimpse of what it looks like over there. This is Miss Michelle, she's one of our paras. just working with some of our students, and then the mulch on the playground was a little wet, so we're kind of improvising right now just to get the kids outside and get some fresh air in. This is another one of our paras working with one of our students on one of their new tricycles out in the parking lot. We kind of have an area where it's safe for them to play right now. And then this is, again, Miss Megan, our speech paths and our OTs are still coming over and providing all those services to our students. And then this is Miss Manalvin, our new teacher. This was during story time, I was over there. It's been fun. I am over there as much as I can be to support them and to lend a hand when needed. If you want to get a closer glimpse of what's going on over there, Friday, we are actually hosting a little open house from 2 to 3 o'clock for our elementary school teachers, because I think they missed seeing the kids, and they were very interested in what the early childhood program was going to look like. So we're hosting an open house from 2 to 3, and we invited our teachers. And then on March 25th, from 3 to 3:30, we are bringing I know it's not ideal time for a parent open house, but we want the parents to see what we've done and all the hard work that's been put in place for the students. So we have another open house on the 25th for parents to come and see the program too. So, Mr. Snula, I didn't thank him, but I do want to thank him too, because moving an entire program in the middle of the school year was a lot. We got it done over 3 days, and the staff, Ms. Manalvin and Ms. Barber and the paras that work with them were instrumental. I couldn't believe. When I went over there the first day when all the boxes were there, it kind of made me start to panic about how are we gonna get this all set up in 2 days, but they were rock stars and they did, so. Oh, and Mr. Duncan, yes, he did all of our technology work and got the internet up and all the things. The TVs are there and that they use them. I was in there today playing calendar on the TV and doing all the things. And so, you know, I have to say, I'm kind of waiting for, everybody was like, oh my gosh, something bad's gonna happen. And the first day, the power went out. Like, funny story, one of the students said, our new school is broken because the power went out, which was really cute, but thank goodness it went back on after about 5 minutes. So far that's been like the worst thing that's happened. So things are going well. We're working on getting, I know Mr. Duncan just ordered it today, just another safety measure. We're gonna have a doorbell with a kind of like a Ring camera so we can see who is coming to the door. Parents have to come and pick their kids up and things like that. So that's what I have. Are there any questions?
I would like to reiterate, Ms. Compton's worked very hard to make this successful. And as you can tell, it's paying off. It's helping out a lot of kids, and I don't know. Commend Ms. Compton.
Also, what was a plus of who is in the classroom at the elementary now?
Oh, yes, so, good question. So currently, Miss Assisi and Miss Garza, who are our kindergarten and our first grade special education teachers, were sharing a classroom. So now Miss Garza is gonna be able to move, and conveniently, the old EC classroom is right next door to the kindergarten classrooms, basically. So when she's pulling kids, she's gonna be right there and be able to use that space to meet with kids. So yes, good question.
And the bathroom is right there too.
Boy, it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got 2 things. One, I want to make sure I thank Josh Daisy from the fire department. He actually came in, it's last Friday or 2 Fridays ago? Our last PD, whatever day you guys didn't have school.
28.
The 28th. He came in and we actually did a full-scale, all-staff CPR training. So everybody who was there on Friday is now fully CPR trained. They have their own little card. So Mr. Daisy and I want to say about 9 of his helpers came out. It was phenomenal. He did a great job. Very happy with how that went. And then Joe's going to be putting online, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be told here in about 10 seconds. The 5 Essential Survey is now out for families and parents, and so we're going to start blasting that out. We need parents to go online. The link will be sent through an email, but it'll also be on the main page right there across the top. Says, please fill out the 5 Essential Survey. And so that is now open.
Why is it important to fill out?
Because that allows us to have feedback from the community and from families about how our schools are doing.
Well, and it's also a part of our summative designation that gives you whether you're exemplary.
That is
or
true as well, but it's
proficient
more
or-
important that we get information
Yes.
for our
But I'm just saying, it does, when everyone wants to talk about how the schools are rated, that is a big part of it, is the percentage that get completed. Not what the ratings are so much, but the
Yeah.
fact that they're getting completed, so.
Yes.
That is something that the stakeholders can do to help the schools.
Look at you getting all those buzzwords.
She wrote that down.
Yeah.
It's in red, Larry.
Next is our committee updates. I can start, my meeting is tomorrow, so I don't have any updates because it's tomorrow night in Bourbonnais. Other than, nothing's really changed. Aviation's still there, that got added. There are only so many slots for every school to get in because there's like 14 schools that go, so I'm experiencing that now of more kids wanting in certain activities than not. When Bailey did it, I guess multimedia is not as popular.
Correct.
But that'll be interesting to see. It's kind of like if they win the lottery or not sometime this month, who gets in what. Oh yeah, Beecher had their dinner.
Oh, yep, they had their, the Education Foundation had their dinner. It was at CDME. It was a very beautiful location. It was a little different because they did, wasn't like the wine, pairing dinner, but it's very nice. I won a couple of good prizes. So they have not informed me of any meeting to talk about how successful that event has been yet, but I hope to hear for the next meeting.
I also won something. You guys won that? But once, I bid the most money on something. I don't know, that's winning.
You didn't get outbid. It's winning.
I didn't.
Kids are winning. Does the youth commission have anything coming up?
The Mom Son Dance registration's out there. We have a big group this year. As of this morning, 207.
Oh, my goodness.
So, we're just gonna be putting the final touches on that, and dance is coming up in a couple of weeks. We have a meeting, I think, next week, so I'll have more information for the next meeting.
What was their theme?
Oh,
Western?
yes, it's Western.
Okay. I thought that I saw that, but I wasn't sure. I was like, I remember Western, but I wasn't sure if that's what it was.
All the cuteness.
The PTO, so their meeting was the same time as our facilities meeting today. So I talked to Kristen and she said they were mostly gonna be talking about Raise Craze. They're doing that again this year. They took a year off last year. And it's gonna be the week before and the week after spring break. And they were discussing, what we talked about in facilities, about maybe using that money for the next couple of years to help pay for, if we decide to, or whatever we decide to do with the playground, but to help pay for that. Or if we decide not to do anything, we'll use that funds somewhere else, but that's all I got.
For the Booster Club, we have 2 scholarships that we're giving out to students. So any senior interested in applying can follow the links that Mr. Starsney sends, and on the Beecher website, that they can apply. And there's different requirements they can list in an essay they're gonna write, so. The other thing is we're just planning some spring events, so as soon as we get some things solidified, we'll put that out there. But nothing else, and
Chugging along.
yep.
The Beecher scholarships are out there. They're due March 28th, I believe. Just make sure you always apply. And just a reminder that there are 3 scholarships that the committee does offer for 4-year college, 2-year, as well as trade. So get those essays written.
And I think Mr. Meyer actually has QR codes in the hallways for those. So.
And they were.
I've gotten
all that
emails.
was sent,
I've seen
yeah, sent out
emails.
to
Yep.
parents.
And I missed the chamber meeting, I was out of town.
They have to, is the golf usually before, towards the end of the year, right? In the next couple of months, is this golf outing?
It's early
Yeah, the
September.
thing? September, okay. I couldn't remember if it was end of the year or beginning of the
Yeah.
year. Okay. Okay, moving on to old business. I don't have anything there, but is there something that needed added?
Nope.
Nope.
Just kind of good placeholder.
Okay, so next would be the executive session. So I need a motion to proceed to executive session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120-2C1.
So moved.
Second.
Whitman? Yes. DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Harmon?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, I call the March 12th regular board meeting back into session at 7:04 PM. Next up is new business. Is there anyone that needs anything, I know, other than you separated out for the employment? Okay. So first up, I need a motion to acknowledge the resignation of Gina Duran as school crossing guard.
So moved.
Second. DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Harmon?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri? Yes. Flickling?
Yes.
If I may, Ms. Bill.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I actually engaged with Mr. Bob Heim, who is the EMA supervisor, and I told him that the next crossing guard I get, I want EMA to train. I even asked if he has somebody, because it's a district stipend, it's not a union stipend, if he had anybody. So we're currently, I had one person email me interest in the potentially do it, so I guess if there's anybody in the community that you know who would like 15 minutes before school and 15 minutes after school that would like to be trained by EMA to do crossing guard duty, that way we can kind of keep our staff helping the littles. Since we took 3 of them over to EC, we're a little bit short staff there, helping them get them into the school. I think that's my plan, is to get a community member who can spare 20 minutes in the morning and in the afternoon. So we have one, so as of right now, but okay. Thank you.
Next up, I need a motion to approve the employment of Max Albrecht as full-time bus driver, Juliana Pacheco as high school volleyball assistant coach, and approve Kate Landis as volunteer high school girls softball coach.
So moved.
Second.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, I need a motion to approve the employment of Kelly, is it Golke?
Goldkey.
As high school drama sponsor.
So moved.
Second.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Abstain.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is the discussion of Press Plus 117. The updates were emailed twice to us from Dr. Gahan.
And I want to thank Ms. Missouri. I know it's a very busy time, and Ms. Flickling snuck in before the board meeting to have her meeting, so Stacy was kind enough to just open this discussion up to the full board during the meeting itself. I provided you guys, the front page is like my Cliff Notes typed out through each one of them, and then I also attached the 76 pages of actual documentation. Just want to clarify on 4170, even Peace, we actually bought an AED for Peace Lutheran, so there is an AED over there, so that is that is met. 510, the Public Health Act is specific to staff members, it's not students, that's under the staff portion of that. And then the one that you all need to decide and consider is on 6135. Right now, the policy is in place that any student, it's called the accelerated program, if you meet or exceed, you by default are placed into the highest level of that course the following year. Now, that law actually takes effect in a few years. So you guys actually have the autonomy to remove the word meets until that time and just have it to be exceeds. Either way, Steve reaches out to parents, and obviously you guys through school links knows what your kids are asking for. It's up to you. If you want to take it out, it's no big deal. If you want to keep it in there, it's not, but I just...
Can the parents always opt out?
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
And say no? But it would just automatically say this is what you're qualified for do. Would that maybe help streamline it a little better for the guidance counselors and the scheduling, or,
Yeah, what does Steve want?
yeah? I mean, does it make his job
It was
easier?
I can
or
tell
does
you
it
my
make his job
opinion how it's been
harder?
working at our, you guys haven't done it here yet?
He's currently doing it, but I think he kind of informally talks to kids first. If you want my opinion and want Steve's opinion, exceeds. That's how it, even though, and it could change by then, I think exceeds is the easy conversation. And it also, it sounds kind of bad, it also kind of takes that teacher out of it, because if the kid meets it, and then I'm a teacher who goes, well, they met it, it was a good test, but this is AP
Yeah.
XYZ. Your kid might not be successful here, it'd be more successful here. I would say exceeds, but go ahead.
I would say, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I would say take out the meat, just from
Yeah.
experience.
Say
Agreed.
My question is, when the kids go to register, is a conversation with them, not just from him, but like, do they hear from the AP US history teacher, like, this is my expectation, just so you all know before you pick it, what this course is like? So like, I know
Like
he
Mr.
talks.
Heron himself won't go in there, but Steve goes into every one of the
Right, like-
classrooms, every one of the grade levels in every English class, and
Block
says,
classes.
yep, these are the classes, these are the expectations.
Okay.
If you're gonna take AP US History, and that is an AP
Whatever
class,
class.
there's a summer course part of it,
Okay.
there's an yeah.
Like,
So
and
he
there's
does
a
that.
difference between the honors and the regular, because I know sometimes my kids have looked and been like, can I go from algebra 1 honors to geometry honors? And some kids do and some don't.
Yeah.
So like, as long as they're clear about what each level's expectations are, yeah, I think meets is that gray area where,
Yeah, because I mean, those AP courses, some of them are really difficult.
Yeah.
And, you know, you want to set the kids up for success.
Exactly.
And
Even-
don't want to make anyone, you know, have to make a choice that might not be beneficial for them.
or even some of the honors
I
classes, because
have
some can we
a
have a
question.
somewhat
If we
straight.
take the verbiage out meets and just say there's a child that's interested in one of these classes and they're just at the meets level, do they have the opportunity to take that class at the meets level even though the verbiage is not?
100%. It doesn't remove them from the possibility. It just doesn't automatically default them into that.
And I do like the idea of clear expectations. I think those can be explained a little bit more in these classes, just so they know what they're starting
Now, in a
to.
couple of years though, as of right now, meets will be in there.
Yes, that is, I want to say it's 27, 28 school year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
27, 28. Like, until legislation changes, you never know.
Yeah, yeah, so who knows, yeah,
Lots of
it may
changes.
completely
Yeah,
change.
so that's 2 years from now.
Okay.
So, and then about the waiver for the course completion, like how do they demonstrate that mastery in lieu of the course?
It's a great question, because I've asked the same thing. The only one I came up with that I could think of that was clear cut, you kind of do it now, is driver's ed. You require driver's ed as part of your Illinois thing. If you take driver's ed outside of the school, there's a P that's put on their transcript. It's not an A, B, or C, because they don't take it with us. So that's the only specific one I can think of that, otherwise, maybe if I want to take I don't want to take US history, I take the final and get it, I don't know. I think that is kind of wishy-washy. I don't know how that would look. I generally don't.
Unless, I guess, could you do it, like the entry exams for college, like if you passed out of like, you know, American government?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you give
Because
them
like,
the
I know
final
you can do
exam.
dual credit, but if you maybe took the exam, but we don't do that, but I
Yeah.
guess
It
there's
might
some
be-
schools that may.
It might be for bigger schools, so
Yeah.
they do
Oh,
those,
I think this is definitely.
they can do those
Yeah.
those like
Yeah.
seminar classes where they can choose, and they just kind of do it on, yeah.
Their
Yeah,
own, and,
Yeah, or if I have this English class, it isn't really an English class, but it kind of aligns with this secondary English class,
Yeah.
and instead of taking that, I think Ms. Hanson's correct on that.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a second option you guys have. You can put it in there, and before anybody gets waived, obviously, we can come through you guys and say, we haven't waived anybody, there's
Yeah.
nobody that's asking for a waiver.
Does it hurt to have it?
clear?
It doesn't hurt because it
I mean, I'd
provides
rather
them
be
an opportunity.
over-covered and, yeah.
But it's not like, you don't have anybody asking for it right now, and if somebody does ask, I assure you, Mike's gonna be in front of you saying, this is gonna be the procedure. That's only one. Steve might be in front of you guys saying, this is the procedure, and before that even happens, because it's your guy, you guys have to approve anything that gets
Yeah.
for policy, or not, for handbooks, it would come before you anyways.
Okay.
But you're not gonna break my heart if you take it out. Just-
I mean,
This
it's,
is also just the first reading as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like, I don't know, because if they're like, oh, is it gonna create more issues and work if we're having it in there and then it's like, oh, you can waive this course completion, you know, I mean, kids are here to get an education, so.
So I guess another one would be, we have a student who took Prairie State, not college through us, but a Prairie State college course for outside credit. I would think that would be something that she could come back and, or he, or she, hey, I took this class, can I get out of my senior English class? I think that would be a valid way of
Okay.
proving it.
Yeah.
Is it also something that could be used for special education?
That would be a darn, I don't.
Because, but that would
I
be
don't
another
know,
question I
yeah.
had, because sometimes, like, I know my own daughter for senior year, since we implemented that whole extra study hall and we tried a couple of things throughout her high school career here, it has caused some issues with her getting her requirements now, going to KACC at the same time.
So.
Like getting all of the PE and
So
stuff like that.
that allows you, that's a different, if you need a class in lieu to graduate, you can actually, that wouldn't qualify here. There's other waivers that you would complete for that.
I was just trying to think of everything possible
Yeah.
that could be used for, like, would it
Yeah.
apply to us somehow, to where we should have it in there just as a just in case kind of, you know.
But yeah, I just thought about the Prairie State would be the
Yeah, I know,
one I
like
think.
Prairie State, because that's one elective, the issue my kids went into is, what's their other elective? Because you need 2 years of a foreign language if you're college bound, but they don't want to drop maybe a foods or a band or something else. So I think if there's something in there that tells us, because I asked that question, because mine does not want to drop a certain class, but they're going to need foreign language. What are the options for students? Whether or not they actually get a letter grade here, because they're not taking it here.
Yeah.
And it may not be a graduation requirement that's waived, well, no,
and that's what
because they do
this
need
is
2
in-
years of a foreign language
Right,
coming up.
this is in lieu of a graduation requirement. So if you want to talk, maybe Myrna, as a Spanish 1 teacher, has a, hey, this is my Spanish 2 test. If you can tell me, if you can pass my Spanish 2 test to start out with, you have that graduation requirement of Spanish 1, we can waive that year and allow you to walk into Spanish 2, and now you have 1 year, 2 years of credit.
That, because I know it's foreign language, I believe in a year or two, they're gonna require 2 years, which severely is going to limit some students, depending if they're gonna choose KCC or Prairie State on another elective.
Yep.
That's something that is a future idea, maybe is.
So.
But it doesn't hurt to keep
It
it.
just in case, 'cause that
Yeah.
might,
Yeah, so keep something in there because
that
we need
might
to
do something.
figure out a way to allow them, either they can take it somewhere else and they can show proficiency either
Yep.
through
Yeah.
what do we consider accredited and or something so the kids still can get 2 years done
Yeah.
and still not drop art or band or foods or whatever.
Yeah. I don't see a bad reason for keeping this in. I truly don't think Steve's gonna start walking in, or Mike's gonna be like, whoa, man, this is not.
I like the option.
But yeah, it's better to have the option
Have
if
it
it
in there.
does come up than trying to figure out how to change things to accommodate. Is there anything else in there that's?
And then no, A10 is officially makes you the spokesperson of the board, even though by default you always were. And then I continue to be the spokesperson of the media spokesperson district. Those are kind of all your big ones. The training that any new board member has to go through,
I saw there's
IASB.
new stuff.
Yeah.
But it's already, when you're elected or when you're
You have to do
brought
it.
on board, you have to go through those courses anyway, and so I can't say this 100% certainty, but I assume they will add that as part of your training that you guys.
Yeah, it'll be the module, I'm sure,
So.
in May. They give you, what, 60 or 90 days to get it all? It'll just be added on there, I would assume, with your Open Meetings Act and all of that you have to do.
Oh. That's another question. And then they would allow that additional training that they're putting in it, to pull in 120, like, I would assume to current board members too, because that's something none of us have
My guess is,
through,
Usually it's just when you get elected. So like
Okay.
the
I would
Open
have to
Meeting
do
Act,
that.
Yeah,
the
I
Open
just-
Meetings Act,
If
like
you're
stuff that we
grandfathered in
did
or
when
not.
we got
I
elected
think
was
it's-
completely different.
oh, I
Like,
mean,
we
that's
got the
something that we
updates
can
since
look
COVID.
into you know, with
Well, I
the,
mean-
with the trainings that they offer too, because I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, I mean, obviously, if that's something our new board members, then maybe that's something that all board members should have.
It may be something we have to pay for. It may be given or
Well,
whatever.
it's already
part
part of your
our-
member,
Yeah, part of,
yeah.
but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, part of our member, but if you wanna do it in addition to just not when you're elected, it may be additional, I'm guessing. Sometimes they do that where you can buy.
Katie's real
trainings.
close with the people down there, so.
I'll find out and let you know.
Okay, anything else?
Any others?
I don't have any other questions. It was kind of like, we already talked, I emailed you about the one and we just touched on it too with the verbiage,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
just staff.
Yep, and I did run through a few of these with Mr. Gleason, just to make sure anything that was on 116, which you tabled and now has been washed away, is not in here, so it's separate, there's nothing connected to any of the Title IX items.
So when I do my, do I need to say that we're taking off the meats for the one? Because it's not as presented, we're changing that, right?
Yeah, say, you could, your motion would be to approve the first reading
Yeah.
as submitted with the amendment of removing meats in policy 6135.
With the amendment of removing.
And then what I'll do for next month, I'll remove that from it itself.
Yeah, and it'll be as
then
presented.
when you do a second reading, you can read as presented.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the first reading of Press Plus 117 as presented with the amendment of removing meats on 6.135.
Second.
Bell?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling? Yes. DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is our IHSA membership for next year.
Yep. You renew this every year?
Yep. So I need a motion to approve the IHSA membership for the 25-26 school year.
So. Second.
Flores?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Flickling? Yes. DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Bell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up was the technology department increases that we were emailed about how the prices are going up. And, the savings or the decision I guess we have to make is if we want to go ahead and order on this fiscal year, then next fiscal year to save some money. I do feel like with the sale of the land that is going, it'll go back into this budget, so we do have an increase on paper for this fiscal year that could cover it as far as how the budget is shown. So if we're thinking about that, I think that kind of does help because it's not like it's going to put us in a deficit or anything like that. We are going to show that increase that we didn't budget for originally when we did the budget. Do you want to discuss what you emailed us?
Sure, I can answer any questions. In short, you know, my vendors have been telling me that by the week, things have been changing, and a lot of the quotes within 6 days, they're gonna be invalid. And as I've gotten new quotes, each quote's like $20 to $50 higher per unit, and the units are getting, well, some are out of stock. So it's just becoming, we're getting worse computers for more money. And it's just something that I wanted to let you know that was happening, just a specific supply chain, I guess, with computers. So, you know, if it didn't matter, if we bought it now versus 2 months from now, it would probably save us some money. The 2 columns I put on your report, the PDF, was 10% and 20% increase. And I have already gotten quotes that include that 10 and 20% because any future, once our current quotes expire, which I got a week to a month ago, they will be forced to use the new quotes. And the manufacturers are kind of holding them to it. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I will mention too that there is a chance that when we approve this, it does take them longer than the companies are expecting to ship them. And we may not have to pay till after fiscal year anyway. So it could be that we buy them, but we don't get them delivered until May or June, and then we just can submit it regular. I just wanted to let you know of what was happening, and if you wanted to authorize something now, that might save us some money. If you want to just stick with the quotes we might get in the future, that might be different. I've been told they're probably not going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
Every
so.
time or-
I don't think anyone think goes down.
I mean, I think it would be smart to lock some prices in now because I think we're just.
We're gonna need them regardless.
We're gonna need them and we don't know where things are going from here. So it would be, in my opinion, it would be smart, sorry for the amended budget, but that is.
It's what, a $25,000 increase?
At 10%, and I've already gotten
4 to
quotes
50.
over that,
I mean, that's,
over the 10% increase, because those prices were from like a month or two
Yeah.
I mean,
ago.
and that's not a lot considering in like 3 months it could be,
It could be a lot more. Yeah, I mean. if
nothing's
there's-
going down.
Yeah,
no-brainer to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
I think a lot of industries are putting out
And that's, I mean,
notifications.
and that's it, if you look at it, it's, $250,000, well, we got $350,000 from selling the property, so, within the same month, so it's not hurting our budget,
You
even if.
budgeted for this
Yeah.
though, next year already.
Yeah, so we'll have that,
Yeah, so we can.
Use
We're only
that
really
money.
using an extra 50
Yeah.
potentially.
yeah.
If we don't use that money, where else would it come from?
If we don't
Razor.
use which,
So it's that 350, where else would it come from?
So, just want to clarify, I know Ms. Belt said it's not like, so when that 332 and some change came in after everything was said and done, it goes into your ed fund. You've bought a bus, you bought a activity bus, so there's $200,000 right there you weren't expecting. So you have that, you have $100,000 in pipes that you gotta fix. You have $100,000 in windows you gotta fix. So at the end of the day, like, when we send a check out, and I know you guys know this, but we don't earmark it, well, this 300,000 that we're paying you,
Yeah, no.
100,000 came out of selling this, and 200,000, outside of title and IDEA, it's all coming out of the bank. So, what you're looking at is, again, this wasn't budgeted this fiscal year, so when we do an amended budget, you already were in the red, we talked about this at the beginning of the year, so your education reserve would see a hit. Right now you have $6.2 million in the ed fund. So that number would potentially go down $250,000. Now, again, there's money coming in, so it's not exactly that amount. So that's what would happen.
I would also like to mention that this will come out July 1st. So it's not like we're getting something extra, this is what we're gonna buy, this is just moving it up 1 to 2 months.
Just the same.
So we're not spending more, we would just probably potentially save more if we bought it a little early, kind of like a sale, like an early sale.
We're just pre-approving the sale, but it's still a budgeted item, so it's not.
It is a budgeted item, so it will come out regardless,
paying
it
it
just
sooner.
might cost less if we order it 1 or 2 months ahead of time, as in right now.
So do it now.
Like, yeah,
But it does take a
call
long time.
tomorrow.
It could take a long time because everybody's in the same boat. So
Yeah.
thousands of schools are doing the same exact thing.
And if it is paid this fiscal year, I promise you, I will not have a $250,000 payment from Joe Duncan for the next fiscal year on anything, so.
Correct.
Sorry? Joe, the answer is no, don't come to Duncan.
I'm just saying, you said that about buses too.
You're killing me.
Your Wi-Fi is off.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the
Thank you.
technology department purchases for $250,912.75 for fiscal year '25.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Zurich?
Yes.
Glickman?
Yes.
Ditchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Floyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I will make sure if and when that payment does come, I'll point it out at the board meeting for you. And if it is FY '26, that's even better.
Okay, so other items for discussion.
So if you remember when we started just kind of looking at Chromebooks, and heck, this was years ago, one of the things we mentioned was a potential of a senior buyback or senior, because the Chromebooks obviously are getting out of cycle. Some of them we still want to retain so we can keep them as extras just for a couple of years. And so Joe has put together a plan or an idea to kind of, again, this is year one. It's not going to be perfect. But Joe kind of sat, well, on the phone, I was sitting, were you sitting? We were both sitting, yeah. We sat down and discussed some options. So go ahead, Joe, take it over.
Sure, so what we're proposing is for this pilot program that we offer a device purchase option and really would try to reward the students for keeping their device in good shape. They'll get it in 9th grade. Every 9th grade we refresh with the new device. And after 4 years, it's near the end of its life, but you can usually get another couple years and we repurpose those. And now that we've caught up and everyone's on the same devices and we've been doing our refresh cycles now for more than 4 years, we now potentially have almost some extra that we would normally sell back. So the prices we would sell back instead of giving it to a company and having them make money, we're not really making money, but we're able to give a student that's leaving high school a device that's still good for another 2 years. So they have about 2 years left on their, well, they actually have 5 years left on their update cycle, but I would consider it getting older when you have a 6-year-old computer, you're in your 7th year. That's usually getting pretty older, especially when you're talking about a $300 computer. It's not a high-end computer. So it's just a program to encourage students to keep good, take good care of it. If they don't have breakages that are their fault, so if like they didn't hit the screen or put pencils in there or drop it, then they potentially get the same device. They've taken good care of that whole high school career and get that for no cost. If they do have a breakage or they've been here for not the full 4 years, it would be a $50 cost. And any breakage or any school fees, either one of those, if you have like unpaid school fees or you've broken anything, that negate, you're not qualified for the program. So that's what we were thinking to deploy it out.
I wonder how many kids have no breakage.
There's a pretty good amount.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause that's
Not
one-
mine. One, I know. Not mine. Okay.
But we did say a break, if it is a manufacturer or if it's a computer default, we're not deeming that as a breakage. If like, something bad happened and it's not the kid's fault, we're not holding that against them, right?
My kid
Correct.
should have pencil in it.
Correct. That is, so to kind of recap, so if you've been here for all 4 years with Beecher, thanks for being here. We are planning to, if they want it, we're just giving that. We're going to donate that to that senior on their way out. Congratulations. If you've been here less than 4 years, sophomore, junior, we'll certainly give you that option, but because you missed that year, whether it be through technology fees or all of these different, or updates, we're gonna say, you can have it, but it costs you 50? 50.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all for a computer that you're gonna have for a few more years. However, if you owe school fees or if you have broken it and you now are on your second computer, good luck in the future. We wish you well.
So it's like they have to qualify for
Gotta
the
qualify.
program. So when you said that
that's a great
we sell it back to a company, like generally what do we get? Or is it just based on its usage or?
Usually when we sell back a computer, it's so well used up, it's after that 6-year mark, that there's, the screens when they're shut and carried around all day, they wear lines through the screens. It's almost like it just rubs off and goes into the LCD. So pretty much they're destroyed and we usually get nothing to like $5 or $10.
Oh,
So,
okay, yep, nope, all right.
The companies probably make money.
Oh, yeah.
And they're charging $50 to $100 for these, so
Well,
we've
they
been providing
refurbish
the same
them.
computer at a less price they could buy it on the competitive market and keeping that benefit in the community because they've already paid it.
Yeah, I mean, because then it's, for some people, college is a big expense or their next step or their next, place in this, moving out into the world is a big step. So having something that they don't have to get and use,
Plus it's an incentive to build responsibility to take care of
Yeah.
their stuff.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good incentive not to break it if you know you're gonna. like I say,
And
even
take
for 2
care of
years.
it and, not shove a pencil in it.
Especially since most people don't have.
I also had a
computers.
pig that ate a charger,
Right.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of us, I mean, most households may have one computer only.
Right.
Because all the kids are getting devices.
Yeah.
So this is kind of helpful for them to continue to have a device if they stay home and they go do something afterwards.
Would this take effect next year, or would it be something that could take effect this
We
year?
could do it this year.
Okay.
We also would, we're gonna be gauging participation to see how effective it was. If 100% of people took advantage of it, I know not everyone will qualify, we might be a little short on computers, so we're kind of estimating that we can probably still provide this and still have enough to slowly refill our broken ones. So we're kind of piloting it out, but we think we could do it, yeah.
And you're gonna clean it out for them too before you leave with all the district stuff?
There's a deprovisioning process, so we take our Asset ID sticker off of it, we do a factory reset and clean it up physically, and they get to keep the case, charger, and Chromebook, so it's a pretty good value. Because the cases really can't be reused after 4 years.
Those
Those
cases get loved.
Speaking of cases, Joe is going to change to a new case, right?
Yeah, so in the high
A hard
school,
one.
we're going to switch to a snap-on case that's like a hard shell.
That's probably
Think of it like a phone.
Such a better idea.
So we're gonna
Is it-
move into that, and if it's successful, then we're gonna go 100% going forward.
Less
But
bulky.
Because those bulky ones are
It
like
is less
classroom
bulky.
folders.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
that.
God.
Well, that's the problem, I hate the
Gotta start
cases,
somewhere, guys.
is they use them, they put papers and folders and
Right.
everything in those cases and that,
yeah, there'll be other
Yeah.
risks
Yeah.
involved when we,
yeah.
because then it'll go in the book bag with their pencils, but we'll have to see,
Okay.
we'll have to see how it works out.
We don't
Yeah.
need to approve that or anything, right? You can just do
No,
it.
we
Okay.
just- we just-
It's the same cost, it might even have been a couple dollars less, so there's no financial impact.
But just, again, this is just a first year, giving it a shot. I know some people are gonna love it. Like with anything, some people aren't gonna be happy, but we'll learn from it this year, and then next year we might make it a little
Maybe
bit
better,
better.
okay.
So.
Okay, next up is.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you. Items for the April 9th board meeting. You have amended budget for display, the second reading of Press Plus, and acknowledgement of tenure teachers. So will they be here? The tenure teachers?
I will
Or we
invite
just-
them.
Okay,
I invite them, so.
okay.
And then also,
How many?
it's a great question, the superintendent should know the answer to. It is two at the high school, one at the elementary, and I don't think any at the junior, so it might be 3 or 4. So, because your hire just flipped over, and so I'm gonna consider, well, she's your hire now. So yeah, 3 or 4. And then I'll also list all of the non-tenured renewals that, just to kind of give you a heads up. You don't have to do anything with them, just kind of acknowledgement of it.
Okay. And then upcoming dates, just the board meeting, and then the junior high curriculum next week that Dr. Crosney talked about, and then the parent open house for the SPED in March that Ms. Compton talked about. And that's all we have. We don't need any committee meetings between now and then?
At the April 9th meeting, we'll probably have to schedule
Yeah,
a meeting for
I
the end of
figured
the
that.
month. I'll get the exact dates down, and then I'll make sure you guys are provided when those are.
Okay. And we don't need any kind of committee meetings between
this
now and
time.
then? No? No? Okay. So I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.